What if history wasn't just a boring collection of dates and names? What if it was something you could actually feel, something textured, human, something that's still alive in the landscape all around us? Well, there's a project that's trying to do exactly that.
It's called Atyaf Al Ard. Now, in English, that translates to something really poetic, like echoes of the land or specters of the earth. And that name, it perfectly captures what they're trying to do: uncover this deep, continuous human story that's literally embedded in a place. A story that, believe it or not, still resonates today.
But here's the thing, this isn't just about making one film or writing one book. The people behind it call it a cultural engine. Think of it like a foundational research base designed to power a whole universe of stories. It's a wellspring of content, and it all comes from tangible evidence from the land itself. So, at its very core, Atyaf Al Ard is a research-driven cultural project. Its whole mission is to explore the deep, continuous human history of Palestine using what they call evidence-first storytelling. What that really means is they're taking things like archaeology, historical geography, and material culture and translating all of it into compelling cinematic stories. This brings us to the guiding principle of the whole project, an approach they've dubbed history without myth. And it is built on a seriously solid foundation of scholarly rigor. The core idea here is incredibly powerful. It's this: Palestine is a continuously inhabited cultural landscape, shaped by layer after layer after layer of different civilizations. And the key, the real game changer, is that this entire story can be told using material evidence. We're talking artifacts, excavation reports, old maps, all without having to rely on any specific religious framework or untraceable myths. And this approach, it creates a really clear distinction. They are all in on being evidence first, using proper scholarly methods to get to cultural authenticity. And at the same time, they actively steer clear of narratives that are just Bible-centric, or claims you can't trace back to a source, or frankly, anything that feels like propaganda. It's all about building credibility by being totally transparent. Okay, so if the research is the fuel, what does the engine actually produce? Well, that's where we get to the output universe. And this is where you can really see just how ambitious this whole project is. The project is basically built on four main pillars. First, you've got the cinematic and media outputs, which is kind of the core right now. But just as important are publications and research, then tangible design and artifacts, and finally education and training to pass these skills on to other people. So for media, we're talking about creating these powerful, short cinematic chapters. Imagine like 60 to 180-second videos that bring a single artifact or a single historical moment to life. It makes history super accessible and easy to share on social media. It also means producing these beautiful physical publications, things like visual atlases that combine maps, illustrations of artifacts, and recreated scenes, or books that do a really deep dive into Palestinian material culture. I absolutely love this next idea: museum-style evidence cards. Just picture it. You're holding a card that shows an artifact, explains its context, and reveals what it tells us about history. It literally makes history something you can touch and feel. And finally, it's about giving back through education. So, for example, hosting workshops that actually teach other creatives how to do this kind of evidence-first storytelling for themselves. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth are they going to create all this stuff? And this is where their process gets really interesting, because it blends old-school tradition with modern technology. They call it their AI-native, human-reviewed workflow. And their philosophy on this is crystal clear. AI is a tool, not a source of truth. It's used to speed things up, to make things more accessible, but never, ever to replace the actual evidence. The research always, always comes first. So here's how that responsible process breaks down. It's 3 key steps. Step 1, and this is the most important one, the evidence leads. Every single thing they do starts with traceable, peer-reviewed sources. Step 2, AI accelerates. It helps with stuff like drafting scripts or visualizing storyboards, but it's not inventing facts. And finally, the crucial last step, human review. Real experts verify every single output to make sure it's historically and culturally accurate. It's all about integrity from start to finish. So, who is all this for? Well, the project is really framed as a shared journey, designed to serve and build a really wide community of partners and viewers. The audience they're aiming for is incredibly broad. It ranges from just, regular people who are curious about history,
all the way to diaspora communities who are looking for a connection to their heritage. But it's also designed for big institutions like universities, museums, and cultural foundations that need credible, engaging content for their own work. Now, that is a massive vision, right? Spanning all of these different formats, built on super rigorous research, using this innovative workflow. So how many people do you think are on the core team driving all of this forward right now? The answer is 2. And that pretty much immediately explains why they need partners. I mean, to scale this incredible vision responsibly, the project is looking for support across the board. Everything from funding and production help to academic reviewers, access to archives, and pathways for distribution. This isn't just them asking for help, it's really an invitation to help build this amazing mosaic together. And so the final call to action is framed as an invitation. Join the expedition, help build the archive. This really positions the project not as some finished product, but as a living, growing effort to document and share a really vital cultural story. Which leaves us all with a final and pretty critical question that gets right to the heart of this work. How do we make sure that a deep human history isn't just known, but is actually felt and understood for generations to come?
Atyaf Al Ard is one potential answer to that very question. So if you're inspired by this mission and you want to collaborate, or maybe just learn more, here is the direct contact information to get involved.